Hello, individuals in Green Country, and welcome to another edition of Free Association with Mark Lane. Well, who is Mark Lane? That's the voice that you are listening to right now on KRSC 91.3 FM, Real College Radio. And let's get to the headlines. Okay, over at CNN.com, Roland S. Martin, a columnist over there, he writes that the Republican attacks show fear and desperation. Well, no kidding. You know, they're running a campaign that's designed to lose. Now, I'm obviously no political animal, okay? I pay attention more to a guy kicking a ball down a field and running into somebody more than I do this stuff. And when I do partake in the viewing of that exercise on Sunday afternoons, I notice Obama runs ads and McCain doesn't. I mean, come on! What in the world? He's not even trying. And speaking of Palin, there's a corn-cut image of Palin in Akron, Ohio. You know, like a field of corn, you know, and it has Palin. And in an unrelated story, Dennis Kucinich says that this is proof that aliens exist. Oh, and here's an interesting note. Why eating males pays off for spiders. This is off of MSNBC.com. Here we go. Female spiders who eat would-be suitors produce more babies, and those babies are stronger and bigger than spiders who stick to more mundane fare, researchers reported on Tuesday. They said their study is the first natural experiment to prove correct the old folklore about spiders, and it said it also shows why such behavior might be beneficial. Oh, so it's beneficial to eat the male. For the sustenance of the children. All right, let's get on to some more true alternative music. We had a request for Gnarls Barkley with Going On. And you should know what's going on, too, if you want to make a request at 918-343-7913. I'm standing by the phone. I'll be here all day till 4.
So, I want to know why man hasn't figured that out. I want to know why man hasn't figured that out. You know, since the spiders and the ants know that queens prevail, I want to know why man hasn't figured
Oh, man, did I have a heck of a weekend. It seems like I always say that when I come to the radio microphone. But this weekend that I had surely topped any weekend I've told you about since I've come back in the fall semester. All right, let's start it off with Saturday. The Arkansas Razorbacks, you remember I'm from Arkansas, right? We're playing the Kentucky Wildcats. And oh, it looks like it's going to be an Arkansas win. They're up 20-7. So I decided to go out and get a sandwich with some meat on it. And it was like one of those things. I parked my car too close to the sidewalk. I go in, they don't take checks. So I got to go someplace and cash the check and then come back. Oh, okay, fine. Well, then I get home and watch. And the Razorbacks blew a 20-7 lead in the last 4.5 minutes of the game to end up losing 21-20. Fine. Well, I'm not that big of a Razorbacks fan. I bleed silver and blue for the Dallas Cowboys. So, Sunday afternoon, I watched the Cowboys get blown out by the St. Louis Rams. They got beaten and disheveled by the St. Louis Rams, who had only won one game at that point. Then it really starts to pile on. My laptop goes down. I can't boot it up. When I do, I can't reinstall the software. Everything's lost. Oh, and not to mention, I have a Humanities 2 project that's due on Tuesday, and the library's closed, and they won't be open till Monday, and they have the textbook I need. Yeah. So it was pretty stressful. Monday I worked on the project. I got the computer fixed finally, and ever since then I don't know. I think I'm kind of depressed, but I consciously don't show it. I mean, I'm eating fast food all the time. I feel like I'm always hungry. I always got to eat something, and you know, it may be like, you know, shell shock, 1,000-yard stare or something. I can't tell you what fast food joint I've been eating at because I have such great influence here at RSU Radio that if I tell you, why, you'll go to that place. So what my general manager has done is she's left me to read promos. That was the Presidents of the U.S. with More Bad Times right here on Free Association with Mark Lane. And joining me right now is Renee Cox, one of the facilitators for the Frankenstein play that's being put on by the RSU Theater. Renee, welcome to Free Association.
Thank you. Thanks for inviting me.
Okay, so how long have you been here at Rogers State University and working with the theater?
Right at 3 years. I was hired in August of 2005, so just a little over 3 years. Been involved with the theater pretty much the whole time. So.
Okay, and why did the theater department decide to do Frankenstein?
Well, David Blakely, who has an MFA in Fine Arts, he adapted this play several years ago. I believe it's been more than 5 years ago. And he's wanted to put it up as a production at RSU ever since he was hired here. It's already been produced one time in the past at another production center. And so since we read it for Comp 2, it's the required Comp 2 novel, we thought it would work well. You know, the fall semester was coming up, Halloween, and so the timing was good, and we encouraged David Blakely to go ahead and put it up. And so here it comes.
Yeah, the book. I remember reading the book. Well, tell me now, without giving too much away, of course, how does this production depart from the book, if at all?
It does, and then it doesn't. The language is much more updated because the language in the original Frankenstein novel is naturally not necessarily archaic, but it's a little old-fashioned. So, but still, some of the language, there are some lines taken directly from the novel that made it into the play. And so the language is a little bit more updated, a little more contemporary, but in terms of plot and character, Blakely has stayed very, very loyal to the novel. So it's a great adaptation.
Now, with any film or theater production or anything, there are usually problems that are encountered when taking it to the screen or to the stage. Were there any problems encountered with Frankenstein?
Not necessarily problems. One of the first issues that a playwright will usually have to deal with is buying the copyright or the rights to use a particular story. But I believe in the case of Frankenstein, there was no such process that had to be undertaken. So Frankenstein basically belongs to anybody. Anybody can adapt it. So we didn't have to go through a royalties or a copyright procedure. In terms of technicality, the stage set has been a challenge, but it's beautiful. It looks like the ice caves. And there's a wrecked ship going on at the same time. The stage setting is very technical in terms of lighting. So it's been an effort to polish it as far as cues and such. But other than that, no real challenges. It's been very smooth.
Nothing to say with wigs?
Yeah. Well, now you're talking to me as the costumer. There was an issue we discovered at the very last minute that one of our wig vendors had just flat not shipped the wigs, so that was a mad dash. But there's a great line in Shakespeare in Love where a character says the natural state of the theater is that you're on the road to imminent disaster, and that's just the natural state of things, and somehow it all comes together. It's a mystery.
Oh yeah. Well, now there's going to be a Halloween production at 11 Halloween night,
right.
And is there anything different about this production other than the time that it will play?
Well, in essence, every stage production is unique. There's no two alike. So even if you saw this production 7 nights in a row, you would get a different performance every night, and that's one of the greatest things about theater. Halloween starts at 11 p.m. It's timed so that the creature, the monster, the demon, the wretch, whatever you want to call the poor thing. Adam, yeah, he has no name. He appears right about midnight on Halloween. It will be the final performance, so I would expect that it should also be one of the most polished that we present.
Well, yes, you're right that productions from night to night, they change. Because I remember doing the play with Gary Webb, and each night he'd forget a different set of lines or cues or whatever, so it was like a different performance every night.
That's how we keep each other on our toes, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, we just cut lines out. We had a production of Nickel and Dimed, and I think it was the Thursday of the second week, one of our characters literally came crashing through a door and barreled through it, knocked it down. So that particular audience got to see the set break down in the middle of the performance.
Renee Cox, costume designer for Frankenstein. By the way, are Chapter 15 questions due tomorrow?
Sure. Is that humanities?
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll call it tomorrow. That's good.
Okay. Thank you for being on Free Association. Let's get back to the music with Mates of State with Get Better right here on 91.3 FM. Thank you for doing
you're
that.
very welcome.